but mostly we're poor at making art. My name's Benj.
I'm Isaac. And this week, we are back in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
We have been separated for almost a month at this point.
Yeah.
Benj was out of town.
Last time we recorded was one day less than a month ago.
I know. We recorded a whole bunch and we sent them out and we separated and forgot the outro on the last video, which I'm sure everyone has noticed and is going to go back and check now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Benj was out of town. Then I was out of town. Then I caught COVID again.
Although that didn't affect any recording.
I haven't seen you all week.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but that might have been the case either way. But the point is that none of that matters. Because that has nothing to do with what we're drawing. In fact, we are drawing bending this week, but not just any old bending that you might be picturing in your head. Like stretching or other kinds. Like
I never even thought of that as an option. We could be drawing yoga and use the word bending. Because I just said we're poor at bending.
We're not drawing yoga, though, because in my week of quarantine, sitting on the couch, mindlessly not able to do anything, I decided to rewatch the best show ever made.
It is the best show ever made.
A good dramatic pause there.
Yep.
I just kind of
had to
hoped you'd pick up.
Had to let everybody think.
Yeah.
What they think is the best show.
What are you thinking of right now? You thinking of like Arthur and Friends, or what's that show everybody likes? The Mandalorian. That's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
People sometimes think of like Psych.
I hear people like The Office.
The Office, Friends. People like Seinfeld for some reason.
I have never heard anybody, but I guess there are people.
Like, there must be. It was like before our time. I've tried to watch Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It's too terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But you know it's not too terrible?
The show we're talking about.
The show we're drawing today.
Yep.
Oh, we're getting good with that.
Which has to do with bending.
Week out of the studio. Haven't missed a beat.
Yep. We're drawing the movie The Last Airbender.
No, we are not drawing the movie The Last Airbender, because the movie The Last Airbender took the show Avatar The Last Airbender and somehow...
I think you mean Avatar.
Oh, gosh. And somehow turned it into the worst movie ever made. Like, there was a crazy, something happens when you take the best show that's ever made and turn it into the worst movie ever made. It takes skill.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be on purpose, almost, to do that.
Yeah. And it was especially disappointing for us, because, we went to the midnight showing.
We did.
With all of our friends and family, and we were wearing shirts... You know, and there were people there dressed up like the characters, and everybody was getting pictures. Everybody in line. This show was everybody that was there favorite show.
It's true, because legitimately, we're not making this up. The show Avatar: The Last Airbender is just considered one of the best shows of all time. It came out. It's 20 years old now. Man,
yeah, it's
I can't even comprehend that.
Crazy.
Because I remember watching it back before there was DVR, and you just
Because remember, the last episode came out the same week that The Dark Knight came out.
The same day, or the same because we went from the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been on a Saturday or something.
Right.
We went from the movie theater seeing The Dark Knight, which at the time was by far my favorite movie. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went home and there was 2-hour finale of Avatar The Last Airbender. It was the best day of my life.
It was good.
I still remember sitting on your floor at your house watching that with people. Man.
Yeah, that was definitely a good day of two great things. But The Dark Knight no longer that was 2 Batmans ago.
It's true. It's not the best movie anymore either, at least in my mind. But Avatar: The Last Airbender See, that's the thing. I got to rewatch it again because I was homesick and I just like binged 3 seasons of it. Not even in order.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still the best show ever made.
Yeah.
Sure, people are like, what? It's a cartoon. It's only for kids. That's true. You could let your kids watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also just the best single story.
Yeah. Just because something's kid-friendly doesn't make it worse.
No, it usually makes it better.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to have... I mean, because the show, sure, they weren't allowed to use the word, like, kill.
Yeah.
But, like, they talked about it.
Yeah, people, like, do die in it. That's true.
Yep.
But did they say die?
Nope.
No.
Because it's a kid's show.
Yeah.
But, like, they did it... The writers were skillful.
Yeah,
You know, you were never, like, doubting what happened. And
that's the thing about, like, a good kids show. Is, like, if you have good writers, then it's going to be all right.
Yep. Yep. So, it's good for kids.
Oh, gosh. What happened?
Good for
What
adults.
happened there?
Well, you gave him 2 biceps, first of all.
This guy's got a lot of muscles.
You also made some of his, like, he's, like, shedding currently his beard.
It's attached. It's just hard to tell. Okay? You remember this guy from the show?
The show.
I mean, there was probably a guy or two who shed. Ooh, what is it?
What happened?
Pinch spray.
You gotta like put a band there, but then he's like a Jello man.
All right, but like, so okay. So if you have never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm putting an end to the mocking because there'll be time for that later. I'm gonna keep drawing. But if you haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, just turn us off. We've talked about this show before when we talked about Raya the Last Dragon.
Raya the Last Airbender.
Which basically, if you've seen that movie, you get the gist of the entire show.
Yeah, you get like the general story.
Yeah, but the show is so much better than all that. So it's on Netflix still. That was the thing. Like, it was a thing when we were kids, and then they put it on Netflix like 2 or 3 years ago. Everybody was in quarantine, and then everybody was like, "Oh, this show's so good." Like, there's been more Airbender like merchandise out in the last 2 years, I think, than like ever before.
Right.
Like, I have a whole wall of my office right now that's just like Airbender toys that have come out in the last 2 years because people suddenly started loving it again. Like all the people who missed it the first time and had nothing to do because they were.
It definitely gained a bunch of new fans,
which is great. Although I worry because now that means they'll be like, yeah, we need to make new Airbender stuff, and it'll just never be as good as.
Well, I mean, they made that other show, the Korra.
Yeah, Legend of Korra was much worse.
Yeah, the first season was good. Like, I would advise people to watch that, and then just never watch another season after that.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Like, it had a good ending, and just that's it.
This
What?
guy's torso
What
so
is?
big.
Why is? How many hips does he have?
It's just really muscly, okay? He's got crazy amounts of.
This is like my muscle builder, bodybuilder superhero where he like gains new muscles.
I needed room for his abs, okay?
So you gave him 2 hips.
I don't know how to fix this, so. Just gonna give him really long.
It's like a caterpillar.
Oh, it's just.
Like he has like separate abs.
That's how abs look.
That's just not.
I don't know. I've never like. I'm sure people who like look in the mirror like could tell the difference, and who see these like regularly. I don't. In case you can't tell from this drawing, I don't know what abs. There's another one there.
Oh man!
All right. In case you're worried, this guy's not in the show.
Yeah.
This arm is particularly worrisome.
It's like, and she's like doing a puppet show or something.
He's doing.
Oh, why did that go in? Oh.
workout speedo.
Okay, this isn't his legs.
No, just leave him like that. Leave it up to your interpretation as
It's
to
like
how
a
he's.
genie, but like like if you rubbed a lamp and this came out of it,
He'd
you
throw
would
it
just
back. Hopefully.
I don't care what wishes
How do we?
this guy is not granting any wish I want.
How do you draw a foot? What kind of foot does this guy have?
What kind of thighs does he have? 2 of them. That's the answer.
It's got lots. How that keeps him balanced on it, I don't know.
It's like a hair sticking out of the ankle.
Just go with it. I don't know what the male form and its peak looks like.
It's not this. Why did you not connect it?
Look at the feet. Don't look at the feet.
Is he
His
barefooted?
head is really small.
Well, you don't
Okay.
gain extra head when you work out,
It's true, I suppose. Anyway, he's holding.
but you apparently gain extra hips.
He's bending the iron bar.
Oh, is that what's happening?
It's not a puppet show.
Then why is his one hand disfigured?
It takes a lot of strength. You ever watch guys doing like a bodybuilding competition? If you do, you shouldn't. You should just watch Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused
I think
with the movie.
watching us might actually be better than watching a bodybuilder competition.
I would rather watch anything moral more than The Last Airbender.
More than The Last
Some-
Airbender? Oh, you mean the movie?
Yes, the movie.
Sorry.
This is the dark secret. It's like some people, like we have a friend who's only ever seen the movie. And he's like, "Oh, the movie was great." We're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
never seen the show."
But see, it's not even true, even if you've never seen the show.
Yeah, the movie's horrible no matter what.
Because like
Not
the
as gross as
dialogue,
this guy.
the dialogue is just dumb. The action is lame. It's just like it's a subpar movie in general.
Yeah.
But then it also like changes all the characters
It's true.
from the show. So it's like if you like the show, you'll hate the movie.
Yeah.
But
But-
if you like entertainment, you'll also dislike the movie.
All right, there's that guy. He's bending
Those
steel.
extra lines didn't help anything.
I don't know. His speedo is really creepy too. Striped.
It's not really striped. That's like hairy.
It's not that. Like a caveman loincloth. It's made it so much worse.
I don't know what you're doing. Like either color it in or leave it.
I can't. Since we're having only a black ballpoint pen, doesn't help. All right. There's that dude. All right, now let me quickly draw the next dude.
Okay.
He's a little bit shorter. Yeah, he's a lot shorter.
Yep. Not even comparable.
Well, tell the good people about why the show's so great while I attempt to salvage something.
I mean, the show is great because it has everything you would want in a show. You know, it's got the like you know, the character of destiny that you expect in most things, and like they have to make hard decisions. It's got redemption arcs. It's got brothers and sisters.
Oh my gosh, you're not doing a good job of selling this. It's got everything you ever want in a show, which I think is what you started by
Yes,
saying.
that's what I said.
And then you just went on to start naming everything
I listed
that
different
is
things.
good about a show.
that you know how like to make a good story, you're supposed to have like one of three types of conflicts. Like conflict with self, conflict with others,
Everybody have their notes out?
and conflict with nature. Like those are like the three like
What
conflicts
the heck?
that you expect in any story. And then you also want like the hero's journey, right? And you want like redemption stories. Like there's certain elements that are in every good story. Like you have to have at least one of these elements to have a good story, and preferably more than one. Like you want the hero's journey and a conflict. If you only have one, it would be boring. And then redemption is something that's good in everything also. This show has all of those, and it does it really well.
It's true.
And like you have the comic relief that's just
Yeah, it's totally
always.
missing from the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's like always perfectly timed. So you always have like these very serious things happening, but then you have like the comic relief that that makes it, it's part of the whole making it friendly for kids to watch. Like you don't want to like scare the kids, even though things that are scary are happening. But it also is good, it's just good storytelling for adults as well.
It's true. It is. Yeah, like there's just nothing. I like even rewatching it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it so many times over like the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But even going back and watching it, it's like some parts of it just surprised me on how good the writing is, or like those little tiny things that they did in that show that
Yeah.
made it, just like incredibly.
Yeah. And it's like they had 3 seasons.
Yeah, they totally had the
And
whole story
yeah,
like mapped
they
out.
they had it all planned. And that's one of the reasons that like that's not even connected. And it's a bone.
This kid. This kid.
Just a bone falling out of his sleeve. But yeah, like Legend of Korra, the reason it wasn't as good is like they clearly planned the first season and then they're like, hey, this did good, make more. And they just did. Like every season was clearly not planned before the season before. Whereas like in Avatar The Last Airbender, like there were things that were foreshadowed at the beginning
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah,
came
totally.
to fruition at the end.
Totally.
So it was such good writing. Yeah, it's rare that you have a show that like works that perfectly. Like where all like clearly the whole show was, written uh and planned out so well and it actually like works. Like I can probably only name, like 3 or 4 shows that do that, and this is one of them.
I don't even know if I can name that many.
Yep. I mean, the only ones I can think of off the top of my head are um,
Full Metal Alchemist
Full Metal
Brotherhood.
Alchemist
All
Brotherhood,
right.
and that's only because it was like clearly the manga was written with everything in mind, and then the anime was just copying the manga, and then Gravity Falls, and because Gravity Falls even dealt with time travel and still foreshadowed things correctly, so that was impressive. And then Over the Garden Walls,
Yeah, that was pretty good.
and then Last Airbender. Those are the only 4 shows, and they're all cartoons. So that just shows you that most like because the problem with most like real life shows is that they don't plan to go as long as they do.
That's true. Because in like a live action show, you have like actors and
Mm-hmm.
stuff that like either demand like tons of money because they're in the show and they have to be
Yeah.
like there on set
Mm-hmm.
day after
Yeah.
day.
And like so often they'll like kill off a character just for like money reasons
Yeah,
in real
like
life.
oh that actor, that actor wants to go do something else. He's been on
Mhm.
the show for 5 seasons, so we'll just kill off the main character, but we're not stopping the show. It's
Yep.
like you can't
Mm-hmm.
salvage that.
Yeah. Whereas like Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's the sadness of the
Oh yeah,
Uncle Iroh's voice actor
yeah.
died, but that doesn't change anything with the
It's
character
true.
because it's a
Yeah,
cartoon.
they like
Like,
continued with his character for the last season,
yeah, like
even though
it
it was a
was it
different
was
voice actor. It was
sad,
different slightly,
and
but
you might notice,
you still
but
get to finish that character arc and
yeah,
still had.
like Uncle Iroh, the character was unchanged,
It's true.
even though the actor died. So you can't do that in a real life movie,
Yeah, no, not at
like
all.
because a new
I mean, we're
actor
getting to that point where they probably could.
they
But,
could, but an actor will act differently. Like even
hmm
if you're like, okay, you have to be the same character, they just won't be. We saw that with the new Dumbledore movie,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
where
Fantastic
the
Beasts.
yeah where the main villain changed, and it dramatically changed the way the character acted.
Yeah, totally.
Like I like both. I thought it was a good movie,
Yeah,
but
but you have to acknowledge
it
like
was a
suddenly
different
it's a
yeah.
different
It's
character
just
completely.
yeah. It's not just like, oh, it's a different actor, and like that doesn't even matter because it's like, oh, that character can change form. Like we've seen it.
Yeah, they kind of got away with
So-
it there, but
But it's like, why does he act like completely? He's just a different character now.
I'm trying to think of a show. I know there have been shows and movies where like an actor dies or something, like you're right, they want more money and they
Mhm.
leave, and then they just like replace them with another actor,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, Last Man Standing. You've never seen Last Man Standing.
I've seen a good
Couple.
bit of it,
Yeah, but
but
like,
I'm I don't know what you're talking
so like
about.
the original season of Last Man Standing, he's
Mhm.
got 3 daughters, right?
Right.
Like Tim Allen's character has 3 daughters, and then like one by one, they just change actresses. Like it's super weird.
Yeah.
Like the oldest ones at the first like season or two, she's like short and like petite, and
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden she's like way taller and way older, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not the same character anymore.
Yeah.
She did her own thing and she's fine.
Mhm.
And then they do that with like the other sister who's like a fashion designer and like an airhead. And it's
Mhm.
like she has her character, and then they replace her with someone who like looks the similar and tries to act like her, but it's just so different.
Mhm.
And you're like, it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
oh man.
It just doesn't work in real life.
Yeah.
And then you also have the problem where it's like the writers clearly wrote something,
Yeah.
and then like they get to the point where it's nearly ending,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just like, well, this is making money, so keep going.
Yeah, it's always
You know,
happens.
and then it's just like, okay, well, this show will now end horribly.
Yeah,
Like that's what happens now.
like The Mentalist, that had the worst of that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Mentalist is like about a detective who's looking for the man who like killed his family or whatever.
Mhm.
It's like a huge underlying like plot of the show for like 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, spoiler alert, this isn't going to be that big of a spoiler because it happens in every show where that's a subplot. But like,
Mhm.
yeah, he catches the guy who they've been looking for like
Right.
5 seasons, and then they continue it for like 2 more
Mhm.
seasons, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
That wasn't even changing the actor. That was just
Mhm.
continuing a show beyond when it should have
Yeah,
ended.
like it should have just ended.
Yeah.
That also
So-
should have ended differently than it did.
So 2 things you can take away from this. Number 1, don't write off cartoons just because they're cartoons.
Yes.
Sure, a lot of the time they're made for kids. Like the first few episodes of Last Airbender,
Mm-hmm.
definitely more like they were gearing it towards
Yeah.
like a younger audience.
Right.
By the end, not a chance.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, it went through a similar thing as Teen Titans,
yeah.
where like it starts off for kids, but by the end you're like, this like they know their audience is no longer the kids. It's like the teens
Yeah, it's
and
because
the
they've grown
adults.
up while watching it.
Yeah.
All right, we can keep talking about this, but you need to get over here so we can get my
Mm-hmm.
caveman, steel bender,
Yeah.
creepy.
We
Speedo
we
man.
never actually talked about your drawing here.
It's for the best.
Yeah.
You get the point.
I mean,
There's
we talked enough about your guy, but I see that you
Mine
have a
was-
new character in there that says, "Nah, anyone can bend steel. I want to watch The Last Airbender."
yeah. It's like,
Okay.
you know, how people are like, oh, it's the last white rhinoceros. And it's like, you cared about rhinoceroses once in your life.
Yeah.
Why do you suddenly want to look at this one?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the last, herd of them. It's special. Like, okay.
And I see that guy is just like bending air. I guess, just waving his hands. I think.
he and the kid might be like related too. The kid has like a lazy eye. I don't know. He's bending air though. He might just be like slapping his hands
Yeah.
around to make like the wind.
Air move.
But he's The Last Airbender.
Yes, the last one that can do it.
You can-
No else can.
You can see the winds. Yeah, I drew
Yeah,
it so you
yeah,
can see it.
I do see it. Okay,
It's impressive.
we've now talked how you're drawing.
Get over here. What more Last Airbender fanboy stuff can I spew at you so you turn off this video and go watch?
I mean, the real goal is to get you to stop watching our videos.
Like, you think I drew that video bad? I did. So that you'd turn this off and go watch The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason for this entire channel, actually.
This channel exists
Yep.
to make people stop watching.
That's
our
what
channel.
year 2 of our channel is about. It's about getting people to turn us off and watch The Last Airbender.
Okay.
There's our new... That's a noble goal, I feel like.
Keep that in mind. What is happening to your computer?
It's time to update, apparently. Remind me tomorrow, computer. I totally will want to update tomorrow.
You lucky viewers didn't get to witness that. You just saw us freaking out.
What's
for no
worse is
reason.
that they're having to view whatever you're drawing.
See, I'm trying a new strategy. It's called the drawing.
I see you're turning the pen up to 11.
Yeah, because I'm gonna color in.
Oh, coloring. Good luck.
See, it's still a ballpoint pen, even if it's way bigger than any ballpoint pen reasonably would be.
I mean, this is, if anything, just like time saving. This is for your sake, viewers. We don't do a lot for your sake. So
practically nothing.
No, our strict rules are there to keep us in check. For you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do it for you. You know what would
For them.
yeah, for the fans. You know what would be better though is if you weren't fans of us and were super big fans of The Last Airbender. So why don't you just do what's best for everyone and turn this off?
Do we need to change our banner on our channel?
Just
Our current banner is what? Trying to prove
Bob Ross was
Bob Ross.
No, that's
wrong?
like an overarching goal,
Mhm.
like for now until forever. But
Right.
year 2 of this channel as a sub goal. I am just now realizing that this is probably supposed to be a person. And that's a nose. Well, I don't know what this is. A second nose. Oh, it's a mouth. I don't know what the 2 lines on the bottom are though. Like, although legitimately after drawing my like two hipped Neanderthal with the I don't have any room to speak. But you know what I can speak about? How much you should turn this off. And go watch not The Last Airbender. See, this is the thing. There was like some confusion back in like, I don't know, 2010-ish or whenever the movie The Last Airbender came out. Because M. Night Shyamalan, the guy who will go down in history and has gone down in history and will continue to be remembered in history for making the horrible movie The Last Airbender. Like around that time is when the movie Avatar came out, like with the blue people. So now there has to be this distinction every time you talk to somebody when you're like, "Oh yeah, I was watching Avatar," and not the blue people one. In fact, even in the Moon Knight show that just came out on Disney Plus, the superhero show Moon Knight,
Mm-hmm.
he talks in there about watching Avatar. And he like specifies the two, like Avatar the blue people one and Avatar like the cartoon.
Mm-hmm. Like it's like a normal. It's
Like a normal thing. Yeah. Avatar, I swear, just stole the fame of the best show ever made. It's like, if we make a movie, and then you wonder how that movie with the blue aliens that was basically just a bad retelling of Pocahontas made so much money.
Mm-hmm.
It's because people thought they were going to go see Avatar The Last Airbender movie, and they showed up to the theaters, and that's what they got. And then they made a movie based on the show because they're like, what? All these people all over the world went and saw Avatar because they thought it was an Airbender movie? And then they made the horrible movie, The Last Airbender. They couldn't call it Avatar The Last Airbender like the show because people would have thought it was like the Blue People movie. Realistically, they should have called it that because it would have gotten more attention. But honestly, it's good that it didn't get more attention because that means more people would have had to see it.
Mm-hmm. None of what you said, I think, is true.
I've been talking for a while. Like all of it, all of it,
except for the Avatar: The Last Airbender being a good show.
Wow. So you don't think The Last Airbender was the worst? You don't think?
I mean, there are worse movies.
There's
no more disappointing movie.
Name one worse.
Birdemic.
Okay, that's not even a movie. It's like a class project gone wrong. But again,
the Christmas special Star Wars.
Again, that's not a movie. That's a Christmas special. See? That proves it. Nothing. No movie has been worse that we've seen. I really want to believe that the sun isn't just using a plunger on the earth, but
you know when you're writing a word and you actually write
what you up to, son?
You know when you're writing a word though.
Yes, okay.
And you're thinking ahead and you actually write like the second to last letter of that word.
Of course.
And then you have to think, well, what word begins with S that I could start this sentence with?
Oh, is that what the S up there by the sun is for? Just make it like a flame coming off of the sun. Make a couple more S's around him. and then just start a sentence somewhere else.
What planet did I draw here?
Saturn.
Well then.
Of course.
Saturn.
You know, Saturn, I mean, it's the only one with like rings that people know of.
Saturn. My son.
Okay, what the heck does this have to do with The Last Airbender? And what is he doing to the Earth? He's like stabbing it.
I'm just whipping up some wind. You see, because in real life, the only airbender is the sun, because it heats up the air and that causes the wind to blow.
Wow, that's deep.
So this is here. I should like have him holding the Earth because that's what.
See, I always thought the original airbenders were the sky bisons.
Yeah, that's what the show would have you believe, but in real life, the original is the sun.
Is he stirring the Earth? Like that's a spoon?
Yeah.
Like a spoon he's inserted into the Earth.
Yeah, we can draw some like stirring lines.
Yes, those make it clear.
Yeah,
it's really creepy actually. I don't know why it's just it's horrible looking. Oh, that's his other hand back behind it. Oh. See, I didn't think he had to like hold it, but he's
like holding the Earth.
It's like destroying here. Sun hand is like scorching the South Pole, and it's cracked open the North, and it's just stirring around like the molten lava on the inside.
Yep.
Which I get if it's in the inside, it's actually magma. There, 2 science lessons now based on your drawing.
Although if you cracked it open, then wouldn't it be lava?
Ooh. Actually, there's been 3 science lessons. We now know what planet starts with the letter S, where the wind comes from, and
the difference of magma and lava.
Exactly. So, if you're still watching this, which I really hope you're not. I really, like, We have to start drawing so much. Like, every video needs to just start with a disclaimer this year. That's just, turn this off.
And
Watch The Last Airbender. If our thumbnail wasn't warning enough. But if you did stick around, at least you learned 3 things about science and 1 thing more important than science. Aren't you going to ask me what the thing more important than science was?
What's the thing more important than science, Isaac?
That you should be watching Avatar The Last Airbender. No science class you go and sit through. No scientific experiment you conduct will be more important to you personally or to the world
Than you
watching Avatar The Last Airbender. Not The Last Airbender. If we stir one person wrong and they accidentally like go and watch the movie, which I don't even know if that's on Netflix. I hope it's not.
I think it is.
Gosh. But if we steer one person that direction, then we just need to give up.
Mm-hmm.
But if we if we steer even half a person,
even go watch it. Like, you know how it is, like where people will go see something because of the meme.
Yeah, they're like, I can't.
It's so bad, I have to go see it now.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, there's no happiness in it.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It's funny. It's just not funny.
Like literally, they took all the humor out of it. Well, it's just
humor.
You're right. Like
It's not cool.
Even if you and I weren't huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fans, it's a terrible movie. Yeah. Like the writing, the pace of it,
the dialogue,
the action is a joke.
Yeah, there's like one decent scene as far as action is concerned, and it's not that good.
No, and it's like multiple really bad scenes.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's like the director just chose to change things about it for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You joked at the beginning of this video that the main character of the show's name is Aang, and he's the Avatar. Mm-hmm. And in the show, for no reason, they say his name is Ong, the Avatar.
Yeah.
Like, okay. You can change the pronunciation of his name, like, maybe, even though there's no reason to.
It's weird because it's a show where they pronounce the name. Like, that's where it came from.
It's not like you read it on a page and then...
It's not like Ra's al Ghul, where it's like, there's like 2 different ways to pronounce it.
Yeah.
It was first a comic, and people disagree. Like, you'll even see official canon that pronounces it multiple different ways.
Yeah, but no, it was like, it came from a show. That's the source material.
Yeah.
But even if they changed the name Ong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Avatar is an established word. like
in the English language.
You can't say Avatar. It's like, what? Why?
Another movie with that same title.
Yeah.
And that's literally because they use the English word.
Yep.
Like, you can't.
Don't even get me started on the other character. His name is Sokka, and they call him Sokka. It's just like they took every vowel and they're like, how can we mess up the pronunciation?
Yeah. How can we just make it wrong?
Gosh, I've only seen it once, the movie, in theaters, dressed up at midnight with all these other people.
Yeah.
And I've never, like, this is the most we've talked about it since we saw it, because we haven't wanted to think about it.
So disappointing.
But if it serves as a warning for you to not see the movie, it was worth it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't worth it? Sitting through this entire video instead of turning us off and watching Avatar The Last Airbender. So,
very, very true.
If you did suffer through, thanks for being here. It's going to be a good year. Oh, now it's going to... take it back. I was questioning saying it, but you fixed the top of the sunglasses, so it's going to be a good year.
Yep.
We will continue drawing, even though we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
You should go watch Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yes. We're going to keep drawing. You know, it's weird. We didn't talk about it much, but it's been over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time that it was, like, hard for us to get the check. Like, you know, we're actually recording this today.
Yeah, the day it's released.
You know, and, like, we barely even got it done.
It's true.
Because we've been...
apart and sick.
And, like, last week, I had to, like, edit the video.
In a different state? Oh no, you were back.
No, yeah,
I
had
was
like
gone.
just gotten back. Like I came back on Saturday, like late at night,
Yep.
and then like I had to like edit it like on the day of, and I didn't even have the outro, so it just doesn't have an outro.
Riveting process we go through.
But for a whole year, we never had a single issue.
No. I mean, other than our drawing hasn't improved.
Oh,
it's not going to.
We say it at the end in the outro every time. We're not gonna get better.
I wasn't gonna say this, but we have these notebooks of like physical drawings we did on paper with real ballpoint pens from before we started this channel. The bodybuilder I drew today is I was looking at an old picture I drew of Benj from, not that I just draw Benj like that.
I think you do.
Back,
we have evidence.
Back when Benj posed for it.
Talking about bodybuilding days.
No, but like years ago, we used to do drawings like this, but not for the public to see on paper. And trying to draw that same guy, looking at him from the notebook, is so much worse looking. Yeah. What I drew today than what's in that notebook.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten worse. But also, this tablet, like you guys remember when Timmy was on here and complained about our tablet?
I know. I never realized how like when you get to draw something on like actual paper, there's so much more control. I don't know where I was going with that.
One of these
it's been a whole year of suffering through this.
We've said this multiple times, and we honestly should have just done it as like our 1-year anniversary video. We should like show our old drawings.
We should. Maybe we'll release a couple of shorter videos just going through our old drawings and talking about them. You'll see that even though we're terrible at drawing, we're actually better than it might seem.
And I mean, you give us the ability to erase.
Oh gosh, we'd have like half decent elementary art drawings
like
at that point.
You might look at that and be like, "Wow, that's actually impressive for a 10-year-old."
Yeah, exactly. Versus like, no, people don't have two hips, and their abs are not separated. And why have you drawn that loincloth? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is go watch Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yes, that clearly is the only thing to get out of this episode.
Like, imagine somebody listening to this whole episode and then not watching Avatar The Last Airbender. Which is straight up fail. They're like, no, can't.
I just
do it.
Don't care.
Yeah, we get that. We get that. But save yourself from us. Go watch it.
Like, why did you watch till the end of our video?
Yeah, we've been talking about nothing worthwhile for like 5 whole minutes now. The drawing part's been over.
Yeah.
The one of you who hears this, enjoy the show. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.